many of you know about RERA as such, in detail? Because I will otherwise spend about 5 minutes. Okay, just introducing you to the RERA. What is this one? Uh, Now, what had happened is, most of these services field, whatever we have, like insurance, telecom, banking, all these fields have been regulated up till now. Okay, and you have a regulator for each one of them. Okay, you have SEBI, you have IRDA. Okay, and for electricity you have MERC. Okay, for each of the fields you have a regulator, and there is a act which was regulating these fields. And in case you have any problem, you can always go to the regulator for problem. Now, unfortunately, housing was one of the fields where there was no regulator. Okay. And this was one field where there was, I should say, maximum possibly cheating and all that which was sort of going on. And in absence of a regulator, the common man who would put his life's earning into buying a house would have no choice but to go to the courts. And it was the civil courts. No, earlier it used to be only civil courts which you have to go to, and then you know how much time it takes in a civil court to give the judgment, and then you have to go to the appeal high court. So you would spend your lifetime going to the courts only. So that was one of the major problems which is there, and there have been cases where cases have been pending in the court this thing for about more than 30 years. Okay, and people still haven't got this. So this was one area which had remained without a regulator for a long time. We had MOFA, okay, which was there, but that had a very limited jurisdiction. Okay, it was not a very comprehensive this. So so the cheating has been going on for quite some time and all that. We had been getting complaints for that for years, but unfortunately we had no way out. Subsequently, one way came out was consumer forums, okay, where people could go to consumer forums and get some relief. But then consumer forums also had their limitations. Okay, there were cases where the legal issues etc. came up, where then it had no choice but to go to this only. So that was what was the major problem. Now the first effort which was made by the Maharashtra government when they came out with a housing policy. Okay, in 2014. Unfortunately, that policy which was made, okay, and the act which was made based on that was a act which was totally in favor of builders, because it was made by builders only, really, and it was passed by our legislative assembly. It went to the president for this the sanction. Luckily for us, okay, that time the center intervened, okay, and they said we are coming out with a regulatory act, so please hold it back. So for us it was a boon for the consumers that that act did not get president sanction and all that, and remained behind. Then came the RERA. Okay, so this was put into the Real Estate Regulatory and Development. Actually, the full form is Real Estate Regulatory and Development Act, but short form used is RERA. Okay, so this RERA was tabled in the Parliament and all that. There again, this problem was that there were lot of clauses which were again in favor of the builders, because again it was made by the policy, the inputs were mainly came from the builders. So there was a problem. So consumer organizations intervened in that and said that these are the points which need to be taken care. Luckily, government agreed for that. Okay, and most of the points which were given by the consumer organizations were accepted. Okay, one of them was major one was Mumbai Gram Panchayat, which gave, and based on that the Real Estate Regulatory Act RERA was passed. Okay, in 1st May 2016, the act came into existence. Okay, now the act came into existence, but then housing being in a concurrent list, it's center as well as in the states. So the states have to decide the rules. The rules have to be framed by the this. So government gave them time, saying that you come out with your own rules and all that. And Maharashtra luckily was one of the first ones to come out with real estate regulation, okay, act, okay, the rules and this one, okay, which came into effect from 1st of May 2017. This act came into picture, and that act required a regulator also to be appointed. So Maharera, okay, was appointed as the regulator. So like SEBI, like IRDA, for RERA, he Maharera is the regulating body which is there. Okay. Now, as per the rules of RERA, what is the things which are compulsory? Okay. First is registration of builders. No builder now can book, take a booking for the flat without having registered himself on Maharera. So he has to be registered on Maharera. His number is there. Okay. So the registration has become compulsory. So no flat can be sold by him unless and until he is a registered builder. Okay. So it has become compulsory from that. Also the agents which were doing the booking on behalf of the builders, okay, even their registration has become compulsory. So all this thing, so you can always check whether the agent who has approached you, whether he has a registration, because without that he is not allowed to book this one. Okay. And then registration of the projects. This is also become compulsory. So each project, whichever is there, has to be registered. Now there is a little ambiguity in the sense, what is happening is when there are a cluster of about 50 buildings, then they put it under the one distinct number only. But then it has been found that there have been problems because of that, because all the buildings don't get ready at a time. So if they have to give a date for delivery, that when they will deliver, then only one date is given, maybe 2025, which will be the last date. But then if you are in phase 1, okay, and you have paid money in 2014, and you can't say that I will wait till 2025. Okay. So a phase-wise registration has now become mandatory, that they have to make phase-wise and then tell you the delivery for that phase to which you are booked, not the one where the project will get completed, this one. One more requirement of RERA is no advertisement without registration. So they are not supposed to advertise in the papers unless and until the registration of that project is done. So if you see any advertisement in the papers, please look for the RERA number below. Because initially when this came up, there were a lot of these things which were coming, which were without the registration number, and also they have to give the Maharera website address. That also is compulsory. Both the things are compulsory. But initially builders thought chalega like that. But then when that started happening, immediately the issue was taken up with the RERA, and RERA was very fast in acting. In fact, I should say that is one of the bodies where we have found that this has been very fast. The actions have been very fast. Okay. And they immediately clamped down on such errant builders who were advertising without this thing, registration number. They were immediately fined. Okay. Even the agents recently have been fined. Okay. For advertising a project without having the number. Okay. Also, he cannot book, as I said. The agent or the builder cannot book a flat without the registration being there. Okay. It is necessary that you must have an agreement in place after 10% payment is made. You can't take more than 10% payment without having an agreement, because we are having a lot of complaints with us where he has taken full money and there has been no agreement. The project is not ready. When they come to us, they come only with a receipt in hand saying that this is the money which is paid, with no agreement in place. Okay. But now it has become compulsory. So unless a registration is done, that's at 10%, the registration has become mandatory. It's a mandatory requirement. It's not this. Yeah. And one more, this has been an escrow account. Okay. One of the things which happened in most of the cases was he used to take money from you for a project. Okay. Now that money, what he will do, he will have some 10 projects running. So he has some other project which is stuck up for that. So he will take money from you and put it there, so that he complete that project. Whereas your project will this thing. So unless you start howling, okay, then he will open one more project, take money from there and use here. Okay. Or he had even option of using it for his own personal use. That means he may invest in shares or wherever it is, okay, your money, and make money on that. There was no compulsion on the builder to ensure that that money which he has taken from you is utilized for that project only. That compulsion was not there. Now that compulsion has come that 70% of the money has to be put in a escrow account, which he has to open for that particular project. That money cannot be used anywhere else. And whenever he has to take out the money, that money he has to make that the phase wise this one. When he has to submit a certificate of completion signed by the architect, okay, by the structural engineer, by the valuer. All these people have to sign. Then only the bank will release the payment. Otherwise, the payment will not be released. So that condition also has come. And phase-wise registration, I have already mentioned about it. Okay. Now, one of the things which happened that time was they were given a date of about, though the 1st May 2017 the rules came into this thing, they were given 3 months for registration. There were a lot of people thought chalega like that. Okay. So there was a rush at the end, so many people registered, but we found that many people had not even registered. So RERA again took immediate action to ensure that those people are brought to books. When somebody is reported that my project is on but not appearing on the RERA website, so RERA immediately issued a notice to them saying that why are you not registered? Because in MahaRERA, that is Maharashtra, this one, it has become compulsory that even the ongoing projects are covered. There are some states which have said the ongoing projects may not be covered. Okay. In fact, the recent one which is passed by the West Bengal government is a total mess. Okay. They have diluted all the requirements of RERA, and there has been a hue and cry now about what they call it HIRA, HIRA. Okay. Yeah. So that one it's totally diluted RERA. Okay. They have left it everything to the builders. Yeah. So that was not done by Maharashtra. I think we are lucky that is there. So for this thing, as per the Maharashtra this thing, all projects, ongoing projects which were there as on 1/5/2017, okay, had to be registered under the MahaRERA. Okay, and now nearly all have got registered. There may be few, but if somebody comes to know like that and brings it to the RERA authority immediately takes action. Now the RERA authority presently consists of 3 members. Okay, the chairman is Mr. Gautam Chatterjee. Okay, who was a IAS person, and he was earlier additional MC of Mumbai. Then he was transport commissioner. He was housing secretary. So he has gone this thing, and he is one of the tough mans. Okay, he is a no-nonsense man, and he has taken his job really seriously, and that is why today we are seeing RERA in here, Maharashtra, to be much a success today. We have Mr. Vijay Sadbir Singh. Okay, he is also IAS man. Okay, he is a member, and Mr. B.V. Kapadnis, who is a legal member. Okay, now I will come to that. What the functions are. So these are the 3 members of RERA. Okay, who main member. There are then other technical people and all that who are there. But this is the setup which we have. Okay, which is there. So this is a general this thing about RERA per se. Just to bring you to a certain level. Okay. Now we can go to the next this one. Now we will come to what is conciliation. Okay, with this one. Yeah. Now, as I said, normally as per earlier this one, you had no other choice but to go to the courts. Okay, so that is a legal this one. Okay. Now, there are what you call as alternate dispute mechanisms. Okay. which are there to solve a dispute between the two parties. Okay, so that is presently there in family courts and all that is there. But this is the first time that this has become a part of the act itself. That act itself has made this one. Now the four types of alternate dispute mechanism. First one is arbitration, okay, which is normally done between companies and all that. That is this one. Yeah. Then adjudication, mediation, and conciliation. Now the first two basically are the legal ones, okay, where a legal person, it decides based on the law, okay, what is correct, what is wrong, okay. So in that, whenever the decision, that means you have to go, it is a judge, arbitration also normally is a retired judge or this one who is this over. So even though it is out of court settlement, okay, but still it's a legal settlement, okay, because that he makes the decision. So it is a one man, this one, same thing for adjudication. It is a one man who decides, looking at the whatever details are kept in front of him, who is correct, who is wrong. Now that is his own judgment, okay, of who is correct, who is wrong, and it is purely based on the facts which are put in front of him, okay. He does not go into any other issues, okay. He just goes based on the whatever documents are put in front of him and all that, and based on that normally he will decide. So here there is one party which will win, one party which will lose, okay. There is no win-win situation. So it is always a win-lose situation. One party wins, one party loses, okay. Whereas the last two, the mediation and the conciliation, these are the ones where you can have a sort of a win-win situation, okay. Now even in mediation, the mediator is normally again a one person, okay, who tries to mediate between the two parties, okay. He is a third party person who normally tries to bring the two people together, saying that this is what is there, you try to come together, all that, and tries to be this thing. But there again it can happen that it is again a win-lose situation, sort of, okay, because mediator can try to this thing, it may come through, it may not come through. Whereas conciliation is the one where you are basically having a win-win situation, sort of, what is tried to this thing. Now RERA provided under section 32G a special provision for conciliation, okay, as a process allowed under the law, okay, and this would be the first step, okay, in the whole this one, this which you have to go through. So that is what conciliation. And conciliation, so in conciliation, normally what arrangement has been done now is that there is one person from the builders association, and there is a bench of people who hear you, okay, the party who complained and all that, bench hears you. One person is from the builders association and one person is from the consumer organization. So it's a two-person bench, okay. So both the parties are given equal weightage. Okay, this person sees to it, the consumer organization person sees to it that the builder doesn't get advantage, the builders association fellow will see that consumer doesn't get advantage. So there is a sort of a win-win situation, okay. And both try to be positive, not that you try to run down each other, but both try to complement each other to ensure that the decision which finally comes through is a win-win situation. Both the parties should go back happily. Okay, no party should go back saying that I have been this and that. So that is the advantage of conciliation basically. Now, what is the process for conciliation? Yeah. That is, one is you have to file a request on the MahaRERA website. If you open the MahaRERA website, okay, then there is a drop-down menu which allows you to file a request on the conciliation. So you just go there, click on that, the menu drops down, okay, and then you can add the whatever is this thing. I have got one sample here, okay, I will show you later on maybe what the conciliation request looks like. So you have to that means the party which is affected party, normally it's the consumer, okay, who will file a case, okay, against the builder saying that I have paid the money, I have not got this thing, etc. So he will file a request on the MahaRERA website. Once he puts in all the data, okay, he can even upload the documents which he has along with him, what correspondence he had, the receipts of what money paid and all that. All that can be also uploaded on the website. Okay. So once that is done, and once you have said everything is there and submit, okay, then it is accepted by the MahaRERA website. Okay. Then you get an acknowledgement number from that. So it will say that this has been accepted, okay, and you will get acknowledgement number. Now, at this stage, there is no money to be paid. You can just make a request, and that request will get registered on the MahaRERA website. No money need to be paid for that. Now, that once the request get registered on the website, whosoever is the second party which you have listed on that, okay, the system will generate a request to the other party, okay, saying that such and such conciliation request we have received, okay. So this will go to him saying that such a this thing, so please give your acceptance. So that acceptance request will go to this one. Now it is left to the builder or this thing whether to accept it or not. Today there is no compulsion that he has to accept. Okay. So he then, suppose he is willing, okay, which we have found that nearly 50% of the cases, I will give you the figures afterward, that you can, suppose he is willing to accept, then that is the thing. So that party, suppose he accepts, okay, then it will get acceptance. Once the acceptance comes, then you will get again a notification from the MahaRERA saying that your request has been accepted, okay. In that case, you will have to pay only ₹1,000. See, this is the minimum amount which you can ever think of for getting a justice. Okay. Today, if you go to any court and all that, okay, consumer court, yes, is less, 100 rupees, whatever. But to appoint a lawyer, okay, you will not get in 1,000 rupees. Okay. He will minimum charge you 10,000 rupees to stand this thing, and then the clock will start continuing, okay, till the hearings close, this one. So here there is only 1,000 rupees which you have to pay, okay, for getting your this. So this is the great advantage.
So what happens if the builder doesn't accept the request?
No, as I said, that today conciliation doesn't have this one. There is no binding on you. So I will give you the figures that how many cases have been accepted, how many cases not. So there is no binding, unfortunately, on conciliation. I will come to the next stage afterwards. Now, as I mentioned, okay, that there is a 2-member conciliator bench, okay, one from the developer and one from the consumer organization, okay. Now, in the process, what happens is, based on once this has been done, okay, yeah, a date is given, okay. Normally, as I said, that the total time is about 45 days is what has been thought of. So this bench will hear both the parties, okay, this one. So a date will be given. Normally, after the acceptance is there, within about 15 days, okay, you will get a notice from MahaRERA saying that on such and such day, your hearing has been scheduled, okay, you please come for, so it will go to both the parties, saying that on giving the place. Now presently the hearings are held, okay, one is in South Mumbai, okay, one is in Juhu at Grahak Bhavan, Mumbai Grahak Panchayat's headquarters are there, one in Hiranandani, okay, at Powai, and one in Kalyan, okay, and one in Belapur, okay. So these are the places, because these are the places which have been given by the Builders Association. They have got some places, so they have been given that. These are not being held at this one. These are held at these places, okay, not at the MahaRERA office. These are held in this places. Now, as I said, that this bench will call both the parties. They will hear both the parties. Okay. First, both the parties are heard, saying that okay, you say what you want to say. The other party also will have to say whatever is there. Okay. So both the parties hear also each other and all that. Okay. Then there can be an individual consultation. Based on that, okay, what can be done also is that we would like to talk in that case to one man separately, saying that what we feel, what he should do, what is our advice to him. Okay. Also, we do the similar thing for the builders. This thing also saying that what we feel is correct, because our job is to bring them together. The gap, what has been found is the whole thing starts because the builders don't even leave the phone. It starts. So the whole thing starts by bringing just the people together. The process is started only by that. So this is the thing of bringing the parties together. So both the parties are brought together. Okay. And as I said, they heard this thing. And individual consultation, because then we would like to hear his side, because there are many things which he will not come out when in both the parties are there. But when we talk to him individually, then he will tell, saying that no, such and such my problem is there, which he would not like to open out this one. But maybe individual in the sense only I will be talking to the consumer this way. Okay. The builders representative may not be there. Okay. Or builders representative will be talking to the builders this thing. I will not be there. Okay. So they can try to settle like that. Okay. So I can also advise him what is good in his this one. Because what happens is many times one of the issues which we have found is basically the ego, which play a major part. Okay, saying that no, हम उसको सिखाएगा. Okay, now, we have to then tone him down. Saying that what is good for you, what is not good for you. Say okay, you will this thing, but what is the damage to you are causing? You will teach him a lesson. Okay, you can go on. Saying that you can go for appellate tribunal, you can go to high court, you can go to Supreme Court. But then what cost at what this one? So we have to tone him down. And many a times when they talk to us, that initial pent up thing itself goes out. Okay. So then he becomes more reasonable. Once that pent up thing has gone out, then he becomes more reasonable, more amenable to suggestions. So these individual consultations help that way. That when we talk to them individually, this is what we try to do that. Okay. Then there is a common consultation. So that is why we normally give 3 hearings. Also one thing what can happen is maybe in one hearing it is only the initial part, when both the parties go back, they say ठीक है, we'll think over it, come back. Normally it is a builder who has to go back and come back saying that what acceptable to him, what is not acceptable to him, etc. Then we try to bring them together, and normally in the third hearing, okay, this takes place, either takes place or doesn't take place. Okay, if both the parties become firm saying that they don't want to, then it may not go through. But we have, and once that is done, then the Roznama and agreement is signed. Once both the parties agree on this, okay, then the Roznama is signed for every hearing, whatever is there. Okay, saying that what happened on that this one. Whereas the agreement is signed when the agreement is reached. Both the parties sign the agreement and sign, both the parties also sign, and both conciliators also sign on that. All the 4 people sign on that agreement. Okay. Now that agreement remains confidential. It does not go to other people. It remains only between the 2 parties. Now this is one of the important factor. See, a court order is available to everybody, saying that what happened, what the court has given decision. Whereas here, what is agreed between you two only remains within you two. Even the conciliator, though we know what happened, okay, but subsequently we are unable to see it on the website. So it has not been put on the website. The adjudication decisions are put on the website, but conciliation decisions are not this thing on the website. So whatever is agreed between the 2 parties only remains with these 2 parties. So even if there are, say, in that project there are 25 people, okay, who are also equal this one. But if one person has decided to go for conciliation and agree with the builder, whatever he has agreed remains only between him and the builder. It's not known to the other people, because everybody's condition is different. See, what may be okay for me may not be okay for you. In fact, this is what one of the things which you have to also tell the people, saying that don't go by what others are doing. One case which I had, one of the first cases, where the fellow was like that. He was saying that no, the adjudication is going on. There are 5 people. This is what they have agreed, etc. Agreed in the sense, this is what they are demanding. Okay, not agreed, but this is what demanding. So I had to tell him. I said, put yourself in. Consider your condition. Don't go by what they are doing. Okay. He was staying in a rented house. Okay, because he did not have his own this thing. That house was his friend's building. He was staying. That building was dilapidated building. It had a BMC notice. Okay, and with the monsoon coming, this happened in April. Monsoon coming, there was a chance that BMC would give a BM notice and the building may get demolished. He had a child which was about 10 months old. So I said, you consider your condition, and the builder promised that he will give the delivery by June 2018. So I said, you don't go by what others are doing. I said, others possibly are not in your condition. They can pull on for another 2 years with this not given to you or whatever. But in your case, you have to think of your own. What is your condition? Then he fell in place. He agreed, took 2 hearings for that. Okay. Then the last decision, he said, yes, I will agree for this, whatever. And builder also agreed for some compensation was also agreed by the builder for whatever delay that occurred, as per the RERA, some compensation was given and all that. But then we said, don't ask for too much now. Okay, whatever is this thing has been given, please accept it. And that was accepted, and the case was settled. Okay. So the individual factor also comes into the picture in the conciliation. It's not just the pure this one. So what are the benefits? As I mentioned, one is the short time for resolution. I said, courts, you never know, it is years, okay, whatever is there. Whereas here it is normally 45 days. There have been cases where it has gone to 4 hearings and all that, or sometimes the conciliator may not be available, he may be busy and all that, so that date. But about 2 months or 2.5 months, the cases have been settled. Okay. Yeah. So this is what is this one. So very short time for resolution, and you have the subsequent this also. That is, I'll come to that further. Then next is low cost, only rupees 1000. Okay, which you have to pay plus GST, which comes to 1000, total 1059 is what you have to pay. Okay, for that. And you can imagine 2 conciliators spending their time. We spent about 1 hour for about 3 hearings for that, and without in 1000 rupees, which a lawyer, if he has to appear in the court, how much he will charge. Okay. So this is the benefit which this gets. Then there are no legal issues which are considered. We are not going totally on the legal issues. We say legally, yes, legally you can always fight that no, he is supposed to give me this, he is supposed to give me that, but don't go on legal issue. You consider, because this is a settlement. See, when the settlement comes into picture, the legal issues, because on legal issue there can never be a settlement, because it is either you are correct or he is correct. There is no. So if you stick to the legal issues, then nothing can be settled. So there is one case which I can tell you that today morning we settled 2 cases. Okay. Out of 3, 2 cases are settled. One case is nearly settled, which will go through in the next hearing. Okay, maybe in a week's time. Okay. Now there that fellow, okay, he had paid, okay, around 2.25 crores for the flat. Now the issue came up that there was a delay in delivery of the flat, whatever is there. There was a minor issue, minor in the sense, okay, what we think, but he made a issue of it, saying that the builder had promised that there will be a garden view. Okay. Agree, it was garden view. Now this was a SRA development. SRA redevelopment, this one. Now SRA redevelopment always has a SRA building, okay, which is, you know what a SRA building is, you know. It's nothing but a improved chawl, okay, a high rise chawl, nothing more than, or high rise slum, you can say, that's all. And then he has other building which is facing the road, okay, so that if he gets a flat which is facing the SRA building, then he will be seeing all those, this one, okay, whereas if he gets a roadside flat, then he will, get this thing. And as per the SRA rules, the area which is marked for the ground, the recreation ground, is only 8%. It is as per the SRA rules. Now he said no, the agent at that time promised me that it is I will get a garden view. So that's why I went on the 7th floor, I looked at this. I said, fair, we note this thing. You can ask for that, no doubt, compensation, but then how much to press for that? That is what is important, that issue. We had 2 hearings, this one. Then they had even discussions outside again, separately. Again they met, the builder and they met and all that. The builder came, compensation, he raised his compensation from about 36 lakhs to 47 lakhs. Okay. This fellow also came down from whatever his requirement. We came down to a figure which was hardly about 1 lakh difference. Now you can imagine a figure coming to around 47 lakhs and with 1 lakh difference. That fellow was too adamant. No, I have got so much this thing, that he did not give me that. He promised me that I will get this view, but I am not getting. What he has given is children's playground, small, garden in the front and all that. Now we said, okay, now it is your choice to see whether you should, pull more. In that case, it will break. Okay. Now, when they have agreed saying that they are willing to give you so much money, okay, which nobody will give one shot. No builder will give you so much money. Even if they give you, they will say, okay, I will pay you in 3 installments over next 6 months or next 8 months, like that. Here he is willing to give you about 50 lakhs, one shot, within 20 days. And you want to this thing for that. Then that fellow relented. He said, think yourself, saying that what this thing. I said, we have no objection. You decide, we close the case. We will say, sorry, we tried our best, we came to this, but we could not go through. So we will close the case. Okay, it will show as our failure, doesn't matter. Okay, we are not getting paid for that to ensure, like lawyer. But then these are the issues which takes place. So, as I said, the legal issues are not the matters, but we have to look at these other issues and bringing the people together, making their minds together. It is more of a psychological job than a legal job, for a conciliator. Now, what is the present situation? Yeah. So, this is a figure about a week back. There has been some this thing, as I said, today only we settled 2 more cases. There are also cases settled which have not appeared. So the conciliation requests which have been received up till now, okay, since see the whole process started from 1st of March. Okay, because till then the conciliation, though the Maharera came into existence on 1st of May 2017, the conciliation panels came into existence only in March.
How many panels are there?
There are total 15 panels. 10 panels are in Mumbai and 5 panels are in Pune. Okay. So I can give you those figures also, saying that how much they have.
So total, this is a picture of all this.
This is the overall picture, whatever is there. So 264 conciliation requests have been received. Now out of that, the consents have been received on 135 cases. Now unfortunately, still the developers are not that mentally tuned to going for conciliation. And one of the worry in their mind is that one is ego. Second is the problem. See, he doesn't have to satisfy one customer. He has another 50. So once he agrees for one, even we say that it will remain secret, that fellow can always go and tell others. So we also tell them don't tell others, but he can always talk. And then that fellow will quote कि अरे उसको इतना दिया हमको नहीं. So in fact one of the case today which got postponed where we got two issues settled, one issue not settled is exactly on this issue. Because the person who had come for from the builder side, the director's office, she was there. She said that on this issue I will have to check with my directors because this will affect our so many this one bookings. But once we agree on this, then so I will have to confirm with them. Then only I can agree on that. Because it was some issue about this occupation has been given preoccupation that for this what they call as fitment occupation was given and all that, time was lost and all that. So how much is the compensation to be given for that in between period? So that fellow said I want maintenance, okay, for that period, so you have charged me so much and all that. There was a lot of this. So they said we can't do that because if we do that everybody will start asking for that. So on this issue we can't, we'll have to check. So these are the issues which this one. So consent received from promoters, they said 135, okay, and because many of them are small. What we have found here, the larger builders, the big builders, okay, like L&T, Tata, etc., Godrej, they are more amenable, okay, because their business is also straight and all that, so they are more this one and they come forward and they settle also easily. Whereas the small builders, because they have a lot of business which is not properly documented and this one, so they are little worried about agreeing for the request. Whereas the builders associations are trying to put pressure on them, saying that is there, but it is not. But so here it is about 50%. You can see. Now the fees paid by allottees are 117 cases. That means acceptance. This thing. The cases pending scheduling were 17. Cases concluded were 69. Okay, as on that about a week back. And cases under hearing were 31. Okay. And out of the cases concluded, as I said, the success rate has been 79%. Now this is actually very high. Normally the conciliation rate is somewhere around 33 to 35%. Generally, if that much you receive, you should be happy कि अपना conciliation चल रहा है. Whereas this is what is the figure which is matching with Singapore. Singapore has 75%, whereas we have got 79%, which is a great achievement, which we should say that too at the initial period.